Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR. Create your own roadshow. The nexus of space and time, where you are now, is the most immediate sector of your universe. watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR. Create your own roadshow. The nexus of space and time where you are now is the most immediate sector of your universe.
Hey everybody, we're here. I'm looking at the screen and not the camera because this is, it's like it's new again. How is everybody?
Doing fantastic.
Epic. Great.
It's been a long time, and we're gonna formally get started here in a minute. But I did not. I was gonna have a whole stinger, the new stinger that we made up. That those of you who've been watching, if you happen to have been watching the Apocalypse World stuff, I think you've probably seen it. Is that true? No, it's new because it's got the new logo on it.
It's totally brand new. Yeah, this was the time to premiere it.
And I missed it. I can show it to you real fast if you want.
To be clear, this is not the relaunch of our cool new talk show. This is the relaunch party. To remind everybody that we're going to do this cool new thing.
Yeah.
And that we're back.
That we exist still.
Saddle again.
Let's see if this works. No.
I have a question as to what I'm drinking, and this is basic. I'm not proud of this. It's not awful, but it was in my fridge, and my office is blazing hot, and I needed something to cool myself down. So coffee was out.
Are we sharing it?
So I grabbed a beer, and it was Guinness because somebody came over and left a case of Guinness at my house.
I'm drinking some kind of white wine in a purple glass. It matches the room.
You know, like that actually doesn't make me like, that doesn't look as low class as maybe it actually is.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
That actually looks kind of bougie.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
To be drinking wine out of.
Yeah,
like you got
I think
that
you're right.
off of you know, winemoms.com, you know, and like, check out this fashionable like wine goblet, stemless wine goblet, right?
It has special engraved on the side.
Yeah.
Floral.
But also that looks like iced tea. Is that iced tea?
This one? This is
No ice.
this is
Okay,
Crystal Light.
I believe in Crystal Light
Mm-hmm.
because I believe in me.
So
that was a nice 80s commercial line from Crystal Light. Anybody else remember that?
no, I don't remember commercials.
Right. Excellent. No one remembers the Crystal Light commercial from 1984. Fine.
All right, so I've not really actually streamed with YouTube Live for a while. So Oz, you're technically the resident expert. Does chat work the same way? I've got this chat thing here.
Yeah, you can pop it out and everything.
Has anybody been saying things in it?
Maddie Smith says Cliff and Poppy's audio sound a
is.
little low.
Yes, I was going to mention.
Son of a bitch.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's because
That's your
I'm
new
really.
catchphrase?
Let me get you guys pumped. Let me actually lower myself a little bit at the same time that I bump you guys up.
This fancy audio board thing.
So that's what this is all for, guys.
Getting all this stuff.
We're getting all this figured out while we hang out for the relaunch party. We're letting you know we're still here and dusting off the cobwebs.
Yeah.
Knock once for yes. Good to see you. Juan Leon. Hello. Jeff Green. Good to see you. Maddie Smith. Welcome. RNG Froyo. I think I got that right. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Don. Welcome. Who else we got? Trav.
Hey,
And
Palmer.
oh, hey, Palmer. It's going down.
I have to figure out where you. Okay.
Palmer has been awesome in our Apocalypse World actual play live streams that we've been doing here. He's been so much there that we've renamed Super Chats Palmer Chats.
Hey, Daryl. I see you too. Yeah, Palmer is my work wife at Frag and Unicorns. He's like my we are bound.
Whoa, there
as
we go.
say in Gangs of the Undercity, we are bound.
Say something
Sometimes-
again. Say something again.
Me, I continue to talk. Or are you talking to Cliff?
Oh, hold on. I got it right here. Anybody?
Such clear instructions.
Yeah. So far, chats. John says you sound fine, Bobby, but everyone else is quiet.
Yeah, I got the knob working here. All right, so give me a sound off one at a time. Say your name and your social security number. I don't know.
Go in alphabetical order.
Okay, start with Cliff.
What? I'm never first. My last name starts with a W. All right, Clifton Wright, 549-4185. By the way, I just made those numbers up.
Perfect.
I'm Opti. I'm here in sweltering 106-degree North Texas. God, why does it have to be like this? It doesn't have to be like this, folks. We could have stopped global warming, and now we have 106 in late August.
It got up to like the high 70s today. It was kind of on the cool side for how it's been, and now it's like in the low 70s or upper 60s. It's pretty sweet.
Sounds like everyone is saying that it sounds good. So I can see the chat now. That's awesome. There's some bed music playing in the background that is hard for me to monitor for reasons. So tell me if you can.
Music?
Bed music, not sexy bed music, not that kind of bed music.
Like Barry White?
No, like
Or-
just music behind us. So if you can't hear it, let me know. I'll bump it up a little bit.
Who's the guy that all of the younger ladies like? Are
Are you talking about that guy who was on Game of Thrones, or is that too
yeah,
old?
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, redhead guy.
Yeah. What's his name?
Norman?
It's not Jack Johnson like it was 20 years.
Yeah, like it was in the late early
Oh,
'80s.
What is it?
Sam Smith.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
It's the guy that sings.
Sorry, Ed Sheeran. I don't know why I confused.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran.
I confuse them all the time.
So the bar is where I
Ed
go.
Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran. Yeah. That's bed music. That's real bed music, Bobby.
Yeah, you're right. All right, it sounds like everything's good. I am going to.
You got it. Over.
I'm gonna just so you guys can see the transition, because I did not set it up to work the way that I wanted it to work. I'm just gonna show you guys. Here it is, and we're gonna see if it's too loud.
Nick, if I actually was offensive and you're not just playing around, I apologize for flipping off Cliff. With two very hard flip offs.
Two hard birds.
It was. I really gave him both barrels there, and I apologize if that was offensive.
Give him the hard bird.
How was that about our nice weather up here?
It was. Yes, it was.
Yeah. Well,
It had nothing to do with you personally. It was just you were saying, yeah, it was 70 degrees here. And I'm literally sweating to death. I will be a dead person by the end of the show.
You do hear nice music. Okay, well, let me know in the chat if it's too quiet or too loud. We just want it to be just barely audible in the background. I'll listen later to find out. I'll properly test this at another time. It's been crazy, so let's get started, I guess. Hi, welcome to the new Shadowcasters Network. It is new. Sort of. We're the same people, but we've done a lot to change things up, but also keep it the same. I think the best way to describe what we've done is we have purified the Shadowcasters.
Distilled.
Yes, we've distilled the Shadowcasters Network down to what we really are about and what we really want to be. And so we wanted to share that with you guys here and talk about what we've been doing before we actually get started here soon. And I don't think we formally decided when that's going to be, so maybe we'll discuss it on air tonight. And with all you guys here to hang out with us. So what I do want to do, one of the biggest things we are going to be talking about, and I promise I'm going to try not to make this sound like an advertisement or like a telethon or something, but one of the big things we're changing about how we do things is how we sustainably do things, as in how we make it possible for us to pay people for the work that we do. So we do have a new Patreon. I've tweeted about it and everything. If you want to check it out while we're talking tonight, feel free. If you like what we're doing, please check it out. But everything that we do is generally, like, you'll be able to watch the live show that we're going to be talking about tonight regardless. But if you like what we're doing, help support us and get more stuff for us to do. But that's patreon.com/shadowcasters. Did I tell you guys that I got actually just Shadowcasters instead of having to make everyone type out /Shadowcasters Network for everything? So
that's great. I like it.
Yeah.
Simple is better.
Yeah. The Shadowcasters was used by like some weird MMO guild for shadowcasters.com
Some
or something.
lame guild with a badass
Some lame,
thing.
a bunch of nerds took the domain.
So, like, but speaking of simplicity, I mean, like, that's why we changed over from the model that we were doing before, right? Instead of spending all of this time and effort trying to, like, milk little dimes and quarters out of people every show and then being focused on that. Instead, it's like, hey, there's the thing, go do the thing. Everybody be happy with what you're doing, and we can just exist together on this show without having to like be like, hey, do this cool thing.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk a lot more about the details of the motivation and the spirit and behind it. But that's exactly right. We wanted to stop exactly feeling like we felt we were focusing too much on trying to monetize the streams every minute. So we know that you guys were probably feeling that. So anyway,
can I take a moment to apologize for my haircut?
Yes.
Like, I feel like that's a story that I want to tell.
Oh yeah,
And
go for it.
So, like, I hadn't gone out for a haircut because I'm trying to be responsible.
Right.
So it's been like a month or two since I've had a haircut. My hair was just like, it was just so puffy. Like, I would walk around, it would like wave whenever, and then like at 7:00, which is like a little bit over an hour ago, Oz says, okay, remember, we'll see you in 30 minutes for the tech check deal. Don't forget, what did you say? Something to the effect of,
remember to look presentable.
Make sure you look presentable.
Called
And,
okay,
like,
Mom.
right? And here I am, like looking like a scuzzball, like, because what am I doing with my life?
Right.
And so I was like, Christina, I need your help real quick, because like for some reason when Oz says make sure you look presentable, I'm thinking like, oh shit, I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't look presentable. like he's gonna put me in timeout or something, right? And so I said, okay, like so I just held my hair on the top of my head, and I said, okay, shave everything around this, and she did. It looks okay, but like I keep catching glimpses of myself with this like Nazi type haircut, and I'm like, God, I don't like that. That looks weird. And so like I keep catching myself, and I wanted to explain why I have this Hitler haircut. I like, it will go away, and I'll find different ways to style it. But for right now, like I have this weird haircut that I don't like. So, and it's not my wife's fault. It was just like, hey, I'm sure this will work. Let me hold my hair and shave around it. But like, that's how it ended up. And the way I did it was just like,
I think it looks good, despite the historical figure that you've.
I mean, it's just what it looks like, right? Because like right here, you can't even see. It's like hair, right? But like it's gone like gray right here, and so it accentuates this.
Hitler cannot match the styling that you.
Yeah.
Are providing, so.
He literally can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maddie in the chat saying Opti talking about bad haircuts and poor old Cliff. I've got to say, it's very nice to be able to put zero effort into my hairstyling today and just about every day before. So don't feel bad for me. I'm doing just fine.
That's how I looked not an hour ago.
Yeah.
So.
Opti not reading the crowd.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry
so
for all of you in chat who don't have this problem.
So I want to get started talking about. I want to start by talking about where we've history is I guess a way you could put it. I want to talk about. I'm trying to do two things at once is my problem. I'm out of practice. I want to talk about where we've come from, the decisions that how we decided to redo all this stuff, and just where the hell we've been since we just like ghosted all of you and decided we weren't going to do anything for a while. I think part of the reason we didn't do anything for a while, you can maybe all relate to. There's been, the world has changed this year, and that's caused a lot of stress for everyone, us included. And so things took priority, and we just decided to take time for ourselves and our families and stuff like that, and deal with work and life. But also that's when we did that and took a step back, we had other projects that we've been working on that we decided to take advantage of the time to work on that we haven't been able to because we were so intensely into what we were doing here. I know I've been working on a science podcast that's actually coming out in September. So I'm really excited about that. Me and my co-host will be who many of you know is Scrim. Mora, but Scrim, who does all sorts of stuff around here. Her and I are doing a science podcast together.
That's neat.
Yeah. And there's been just other things going on. Cliff's been working on music. Oz's been working on video stuff. And, of course, Gangs of the Undercity. So, yeah.
It's consumed an awful lot of bandwidth, for sure.
So we've been working on that. But I think all of that, like, when it comes to this, all of that sort of misses what I think is the real point, which is that we had a very unsustainable way of doing things before. Me and Oz definitely were always talking about this starting at least summer of last year and trying to figure out what we can do. And it was I don't want to call it fortunate timing because this pandemic is not fortunate, but it was timed at the same time as us talking about how we were going to redo things, and it sort of like gave us the excuse we needed to hit the reset button on things. The old way of doing things, Oz, would you characterize this correctly as how can we get more shows made with more people?
Yeah, because the more that we were to be on, then the more people, the more that we could have potentially more audience that would then give us bits on Twitch, and then like we'd be able to rake in. And look, like we were doing pretty okay to cover our costs as a network, but it came at the expense of being able to pay the people that were doing stuff for us in an ethical amount for the amount of work we're putting in, right?
I think,
and that's always been an issue.
I think for me, one of the biggest things that really just sort of took the wind out of our sails was we got a really, what seemed like a really great opportunity to grow our audience to do a big official announcement for a major role-playing games new edition. And we poured so much into that, so much of our time and our energy and our hopes for the channel. And while it was cool in a lot of ways, like the people who showed up for those events and videos just did not show up. They didn't show up for anything else, except for maybe in smaller numbers. And I guess we put so much of our energy into that when it didn't materialize into like exposure, which was what we got paid in, I don't know. It took a lot of our motivation and just led to a lot of burnout, I think.
Yeah.
It was just like I said, it was unsustainable not only financially but also creatively. Like we just can't go 4 or 5 different directions. All of us doing, however many shows. Like we're just not going to be giving our best in any of these. In addition to all the other things that we've got going on and real life stuff. And
Optiverse, that was huge and really inspiring and lots of fun. But again, it didn't grow into something that I felt like it should have, based on how cool it was and all the great people we had involved doing great things. And just that slog of going for those numbers is just we've used the word, I'll use it again, unsustainable.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
Yeah, you remember?
It's not like we didn't enjoy everything that we did. Like we did them because, like, hey, this is a really great idea. Like I really want to do this.
We had so many great ideas. So.
Yeah. I remember some of my fondest moments of having old meetings for like Bobby saying no more new things, and then it's just like the end of the meeting, a steady stream of I want to do this anyway, even though Bobby says not to.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. I think the joke is that I always point to is Opti's. Is when Opti you kept bringing up like wanting to do a Shadowrun puppet show, and I just almost had a panic attack, ripping my hair out. Like what are you talking? We can't. Ah!
It was it. That was like one of the cool ideas I was really into for like 2 weeks.
Right.
Was we were gonna do like a Neo Anarchist podcast, but use puppets.
Sock puppets.
Do you still have that sock puppet?
I was so on board for this.
It's around here. It's somewhere around here. But yeah, and
I'm so sad.
Opti as a sock puppet, and I was like, anyway, everybody was really into it, but Bobby was like, please don't do this. This is not funny.
Yeah. So like we said, it's how can we make shows in a way that's sustainable, that we can also get excited about and stay excited about long term. That's what we want to do. So we sort of said, okay, we have a lot of shows, RPG shows that are ending right towards the end of the year. Let's not start any new ones. We held everybody to it. Fortunately, Opti was in the middle of hard working on Gangs of the Undercity, so he couldn't sneak anything by us. And so we did. We let everything kind of like run its course, and we started this back in January. I just looked today to when did I make the Google Drive folder for the business plan that we were going to redo everything. It was in January, and that's when we started saying, okay, let's do what we didn't do the first time. Let's plan this properly from the ground up. And so we rewrote everything, and we have a new mission statement that took us probably appropriately, like it should take a long time to come up with a good mission statement, right? But it took us months to come up with this. But it's inspiring tabletop gamers to play their best. I already screwed it up. Inspired.
Play their butt.
Just shut it down, guys.
Play top gamers to be their butts.
Yeah, inspiring tabletop gamers to play their best. So that's what we're about now. We just want to do what we love to do, and to hopefully exude that in such a way that it is absorbed by everyone watching. And we came up with some values that represent the way we want to do things now. And these we're very serious about. We want this to shape everything that we do. So all of you listening, hold us to it. And it's not on the website yet, but I am going to make a place on the website that has our values on it, which is, number 1, communicate with empathy and compassion. I think that's a very good thing that we want to do. Promote inclusivity. A lot of these, especially these first 3, are things that we've been trying to do anyway, and now we're just formalizing that, right? And we're making it part of the checklist of things that we go through before we start any projects. Number 3 is one we've been living for a long time, and we're always saying to each other behind the scenes, which is no competition, only peers. We strongly believe that everyone out there, the more people doing this stuff, the more there's an audience for it, and the whole adage of, rising tide raises all ships. We very much believe in that. We want to be transparent. That's another value we have. So that's like why we're here, talking to you guys about where we were and where we've come from. And then the last 2 were more about like just how we want to help sustainably do things, but applies to everything, which is family first and have fun. So yeah, that's where we are now. And
Bobby being very serious. All the chat cares about his butts.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. You're having fun. That's number 6 on the list.
Listen, guys, this is what we're all about. The chat's like, butts, guys. Butts.
All right. So that's where we were, and that's what got us here. There's a whole sob story I'm sure we could go into about all of our woes and everything, but the whole world has gone through this year as well. So I don't think we're unique in that regard.
We finally ditched the dead weight that was Damien. Like, he doesn't show up for anything anymore. So that's been
we finally kicked that guy out. If he shows up in the chat, do we have any moderators in the chat? Just make sure that you ban him immediately. Oh, Damien. So where are we right now? So we were talking about the Patreon model. Sustainability has a lot to do with whether or not we feel like this is worth it. And when push comes to shove, like a lot of that has to do with, are you getting compensated for your work? Not just us, but the people we work with, like the streamers we were working with, the people behind the scenes who are doing work for us, helping us administer various tasks and everything. And we wanted to make sure that everyone is getting fairly compensated for that. And so we spent a lot of time thinking about, how is that possible? How do you plan that with things like subscriptions on Twitch and cheers, and trying to get people to do that? And, what kind of schemes can we come up with to get people to be excited about, cheering and bits and super chats and YouTube and all this kind of stuff. And all those are fun. And we're not saying that those are bad, but they distract us from what we really want to do, which is make cool shows and fun content. So we finally decided to do this new thing that you may have heard about, called Patreon. So everyone's been doing it, and we finally just decided, why don't we do that too? So that's where we are. We want to go to that because that's going to allow us to sort of like organically set goals for let me give you an example. I'm going to show you on screen our Patreon page, patreon.com/shadowcasters. But here, there's my notes.
To the internet.
Yeah.
I want to say, how we've been talking about the Patreon for so long, and no one's brought up the stupid game yet.
Well, that's coming.
We
don't.
Okay.
It's stupid. Why would we even talk about it?
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
I'm not about it, but I mean about it.
About it.
That's the part I'm most excited about. I can't wait for the first stupid game.
So I'm gonna look.
Welcome to the first stupid game.
So here's our Patreon page. We revamped. For those of you who were Shadowcasters, for those of you who were Complex Action patrons, you may have already seen that I converted the Complex Action Patreon to the Shadowcasters Network. So if you are, you can adjust, actually slot yourself into one of these roles based on what you were before and fix that. So, but if you weren't, this is all going to be new to you. This is our Patreon. We've got a bunch of different things that we're roles and things that are going to be doing. But what I wanted to show you were the goals that we have. So, for example, here, when we hit this goal, we're setting the shows like an RPG show, like an actual play, as reachable milestones in our Patreon, so that when we get there, we can guarantee that we actually have the ability to sustainably compensate our streamers and the people behind the scenes. So that's kind of how that is going to work from here on out. And
click the see all levels button. I want to see what's next.
Okay, I will. The see all. Oh, you want to see all the different.
Yeah, you got like some classes there, and
yeah,
I want to see the rest of the classes.
At $3 a month, you could be a villager, which gets you access to the Patreon Discord channel, on our Discord. So we'll talk about the Discord in a second, but we have a patron only Discord channel.
Yeah, talk about that. We only have one now. We used to have 2 Discord channels.
Yes.
Now we only have 1. We've consolidated that too. Simplicity.
Simplify. Someone famous said that one time.
We didn't so much consolidate is sort of split off our own separate Shadowcasters network thing and let the original one be just a Shadow-run Discord channel.
So before there was the Shadowcasters Network Discord and there was the Shadowcasters Network Twitch Discord. The Twitch Discord was where we sort of talked about all the stuff we were doing streaming on Twitch. We're not doing Twitch anymore. Obviously, we're doing YouTube. Well, we are doing both Twitch and YouTube. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But mostly YouTube, and Shadowrun we felt was a really thriving community on their own, and we empowered the moderators and the people who were doing all the actual real work running that server to go off and run it on their own. So we rebranded it to the Shadowrun, to a Shadowrun Discord server. And then we renamed the Twitch one as the Shadowcasters Network Discord server proper. Like that's the one. On our website, if you go to shadowcasters.network, you can find links to the Discord, and I'm sure it's somewhere on the YouTube page here as well. Maybe. Anyway, so what were we talking about? We were talking about...
You're talking about the different levels of support in your cool drawing.
Right, my cool drawings. I'm really excited about these drawings. So the first one is the Villager one that gets you to the Discord channel. We've got the Warrior tier next, which is really kind of in my opinion, the Warrior level is sort of like the best value level because you get like access to a lot of really good stuff. For example, you have early access to all of our YouTube videos. When we talk about the live show, you're going to hear that we're going to do the live show, but then we're going to chop those up into segments that can be put on our YouTube channel in general. And you'll get access to those early. Like if you miss the live show, you'll get recordings of the full live show because we do a pre and post show of that. Also, we'll have Q&A segments on those, and at this level, you get priority for that Q&A. You can ask us anything you want, but we'll go through. There will be a special Discord channel where you can put those, and we'll go through that channel first to get those things. And then also, at the Warrior level, is where you get access to the stupid game, which is going to be really fun. And we're probably just going to keep vaguely referring to it here because...
if you're here for details on the stupid game, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So the next level is Rogue. What that'll do is gives you behind the scenes access to things, and things like that we're working on, like maybe art assets we're working on, music we're working on, projects that we're just chugging away at behind the scenes, and you'll have access to that. When we're working on something cool, like the art for these for this Patreon page, when I was working on that, I shared it with anybody that was happened to already be at that level just by virtue of being on the Complex Action Patreon. But that's the kind of things that you would get access to, is just stuff we're working on behind the scenes.
But also, more importantly, +1.
Yes. You'll get +1 in the stupid game. That's really important. The next level at the $20 level is the Village Hero. What you get access to there is your name in the credits and +2 in the stupid game. Number 50 is when you get access to that's the ancient artifact level. You get access. You have acquired an ancient scrying artifact, which grants the privilege to know what the SCN is working on before we're even ready to announce it publicly. That is top secret, and you'll have to get this scrying orb to do it. Level 100 you'll be a landed noble. Basically, you get a title in the stupid game, and we are required by law to refer to you as by that title for the rest of the time that you're there. So
you get a lordship. You straight up get a lordship.
Yeah. Whatever title you want.
It's not just a clever name.
Yeah.
You get land.
Yes. Also, you get land. Yeah.
Technically not land, but still.
And then you could become a regional celebrity at the highest level, and we will give you a custom thank you video and maybe a Christmas card. Who knows?
It could be
yeah.
It could be
or whatever denomination holiday you would like.
No, it won't be just fireworks. Stupid. Yeah, but it'll be a nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We will like you. We will absolutely like you.
We won't just pretend to like you like all the other levels.
And fall off to like you for real.
Yeah, our lawyers tell us we will actually have to like you.
They call it contractually obligated affection.
That's awful.
So we keep talking about the SCN, the live show. It doesn't really have a name. We're just calling. I guess it's called SCN Live now, right? The SCN Live show. That's what we're calling
If that's what you just called it, then yes. I think we've been calling it. Yeah, I don't know. We haven't been calling it anything. We've been calling it the show.
Yeah. How would you describe it, Oz? The SCN Live show.
SCN Live. I would call it a talk show, news show, maybe discussion show, panel show. Yeah, where we
Talk show sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, and our goal with it is to discuss things that are going on in tabletop, both lots of interesting new projects that are out on Kickstarter or that have just released, as well as some interesting topics that are going around Twitter. I know that there's lots of really fun, and I say fun as in like very engaging conversational topics of tabletop designers and that have things to say about what tabletop RPGs could look like. We're also interested in expanding more into board games as well, and so yeah, we're just gonna talk about all of it. And so
imagine like if you like talk radio and you turn on NPR or you turn on like whatever your favorite like local show is in the morning, and they are going to be talking about all the different cool news there is to talk about. They're going to consolidate, they're going to distill it for you so that you can engage with them, the people that you know, engaging with the stuff, so that you can kind of feel like you have a better handle on everything that's going. Now imagine that, except it's instead of people that you know and like, it's us, and and it's all about tabletop gaming and that sort of stuff like that. We're going to try to distill the week's interesting, cool things and news about tabletop gaming, and we're going to force feed it to you through our filter. We're going to mama bird you with all the tabletop news that you could ever have wanted.
And we're going to take that live stream and we're going to be able, because we're going to do like segments of stuff, we're going to be able to take that and chop it up into different very small bite-sized YouTube-y style videos where it's like, 5 to 15 minutes of content of different things that might interest you.
Yeah, I'm showing the Discord server right now on the screen, and you'll see that for the live show, there's a whole category on there when you get on there, and there's questions for the show, but also news suggestions for the show. So you guys can help make us aware of news as well. That we will you put that in there, and we'll look at it and maybe talk about it on the show. I think that's good.
It'll be very helpful for us because we don't have anyone in the back helping us, being our like errand person. Like
maybe
hey,
one day.
Things. Maybe one day.
Maybe we'll make it a Patreon goal.
I would love that. Honestly,
level, you can come be our peon.
Yes, exactly.
Paid assistant work. That would be awesome, actually.
you pay.
Give us enough money, you can work for us.
Yeah.
I think maybe we need to go back to that list of values.
Yeah. Oh, right. Man. Whoops.
Yes, this is why we had to detail them, so we can
write them down and put them on a list. So,
for the most part, the live show is going to be the reliable thing every week is going to be news, and then whatever else people want to do, and then us just having fun hanging out. So, we're really excited about it. It's sort of, I think, finally going to. I know from speaking personally, it's going to finally allow me to just like be my normal self. That's the way that I think do well, is just being on a stream. So it's gonna be fun for me. YouTube and Twitch. Oz, I want you to talk about YouTube and Twitch, or at least start with it, because I know initially when we decided we were going to start thinking about should we switch from Twitch to YouTube, it was your idea. You were the one who sort of originally pushed for that, and I want you to talk about what your motivations were there, and we can all then chime in about like how this is going to be better for us.
So if you're watching on YouTube and you've seen us on Twitch, you might be wondering why. What's the big deal? For us on the back end, there's a lot of benefits to being on YouTube for our style of content. The main one for us to ditch Twitch was efficiency, because right now we are spending or rather before, we were spending a lot of time transferring the VODs from Twitch to YouTube, and then also having to have optimized titles and tags and descriptions for both platforms. Whereas if we cut that work out entirely from Twitch, we just stream on YouTube Live instead, everything's already immediately housed in YouTube, and we get all of the verbiage as YouTube likes, and bam, it's there. And we can actually, YouTube has its own built-in editor so that we can go ahead and chop out all the stuff that we don't want, which is way better than Twitch's editor, because that one you can only, like, you know, just take a chunk and that's it. But in this one you can fine tune. So that was one reason. Another reason was to focus. Our content is hours long and it's serialized. It's not like Twitch is really good for, I'm getting on, I'm playing a video game, hang out, whatever, you know, clip this funny moment if you like. But for the most part, for serialized content, that became a real hindrance when Twitch's VOD situation is not exactly the most nice looking. So it felt like it makes more sense to just direct everyone right to the YouTube, where all of those playlists are there and live as soon as possible. Discoverability was another reason. You know, on Twitch, you're either on the D&D channel, which we were never doing D&D, or the Tabletop RPGs channel, which nobody ever really knew about unless it was super niche. In this instance, one of the things that I think YouTube is going to provide us is, if we're playing something indie, like, I don't know, like if we're playing an indie game, something that, like Misspent Youth, let's say, right? And somebody is, oh, I want to see Misspent Youth if there are any games, our games come up, right? And it could be either the VODs, or it could be maybe we happen to be live right there, and now someone has an opportunity to be like, ooh, I get to watch this game of Misspent Youth, and then potentially watch more of our stuff. I
mean, to put a very as fine a point on it as I can, Twitch is just shit for discoverability and serving you more content. Like that's just not what it's made for, and that's what we want. So
yeah, and there's nothing that you can't do on YouTube that you can do. You know, basically YouTube is superior in virtually every way to what we want to do. And
what Twitch does better is it has better monetization options, but since we're decoupling ourselves from that and using the Patreon model anyway, we don't need that. So
exactly. Mind you, it has super chats, so you can, you know, if you want, you can do a super chat right here, and it's kind of like YouTube's version of bits, but it's not central to our focus anymore because of the Patreon.
It's also a cooler version because you get to like make your chat like prominent and sticky and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool.
Also, YouTube has automatic live closed captioning for hearing impaired people. So that was another like must do.
Right. Inclusivity is one of our values now. So that's important to us.
Accessible. Exactly. So
it's important to us now.
now that we've decided that it's important.
It has become important to us since we decided that everybody would like it to be important to us.
Yeah. And so as a result, the other thing that I think we benefit from is a delineation. So YouTube is a great place for our produced content, like actual plays, the SCN live show that we're going to do. Whereas our Twitch can be for just hanging out, doing more informal things. So we'll still use our Twitch, but it'll be for like fun bonus content to hang out with us rather than like all of our specific produced things. And the benefit of that is, you know, obviously if you're not interested in hanging out with us, then you wouldn't have notifications for Twitch, but you could at least you can have notifications for YouTube showing you the stuff that actually, the content, if you're just focused on us for content that matters to you, then that's YouTube. So anyway, yeah, right. Lots of reasons.
Yeah,
it felt right.
Lots of reasons that we're happy about, that you just outlined, so I'm not going to do that thing where I just restate everything you just said. Discord, we've talked some about Discord. Like I said, go to shadowcasters.network. There's a Discord link there. We're going to be doing, I know I've already been in there a lot more than I have in historically. We're going to be doing a lot more interacting on Discord than and whatnot. And again, patrons get access to a different level of that. Your questions, you can put them in there for the Q&A shows and whatnot. But all of this was all, as you've probably noticed, we rebranded everything. Do you guys like the new logo? What do you think?
I know I do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's snazzy. So
Can we talk about the old logo?
go ahead. Get it all out. Get it all out, Oz.
Well, okay. So I don't even know how this came up, but I was like, Bobby, what is our logo supposed to be exactly?
That was the question. You asked that question when we decided we were going to do the new business plan. So we're like, what should we think about possibly? Because I raised it. I was like, if we're ever going to rebrand to a new logo, now would be the time to do it. And it was just sort of like I didn't expect that we would. But then Oz says, he says, what does our logo even mean? And when he asked that, I was like, okay, I think maybe it's time for us to get a new logo.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a diamond with a rectangle and a little circle in the middle, and apparently that was supposed to represent a Shadowrun glitch die and an eye. And I was like, we're changing our logo, please.
I don't get the new one either, but whatever.
Shut up. What's his we had the David McDermott did design the first logo, so I do want to give him credit. He designed
McDermott has done a whole lot of stuff for Gangs of the Undercity too.
David McDermott is great.
He's awesome. Yes, he did the Join the Energy logo too, the new one, the neon sign.
Yeah. So I don't want him, if he's listening now or ever does listen to this, to think that we think he did a bad job. We gave him an impossible task. We said, make it about Shadowrun, make it about gaming, but make it like really, really universal so that it can apply to all sorts of things. Like, we gave him this like impossible to meet set of demands.
I 100% blame Bobby's poor ability to communicate our desires.
Yes. I will absolutely take credit for all of that.
But no, David is just so good. He's so good.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And if we hated it, we wouldn't have used it for like 4 years. So
the website also, over the years, I have gotten a lot of crap for. It was kind of when I designed that website to begin with, I had never designed a website before, so I kind of ended up with some sort of like early 2000s web design aesthetic, and there was a lot of problems with it. So I scrapped it all. I've learned a lot since then and updated it to a new, more modern design, and it's very streamlined. It's like it's there to hold our videos and tell you the things that we want to tell you about, Patreon, Discord, and that's it. There you go. So
I updated the description of our YouTube video to include a link directly to the website if you would like to take a look. It's quite snazzy.
Don Allman says, Bobby's poor ability to communicate is what I blame my current campaign on. Yep. I'll take credit for that too. Anybody else wants
wrong in my life is Bobby's poor ability to communicate.
I'll bear the cross for all of you guys if you really need me to. That's what I'm here for. But everything's new. It feels really fresh, and I have not been creatively inspired in a really long time, but this whole redesign, the aesthetic for it, has gotten me more excited to make stuff than I have been in a really long time. So I had so much fun making the little stick figure things for the for the Patreon on here. It was
yeah, you guys don't know this, but we have tasked Bobby with learning all of the Adobe Creative Cloud apps.
The entire suite.
So I think he's about 4% in. But by the time he's done, we will have a fully functional Adobe Creative Cloud bot that we will be able to do anything with.
You can get I think you can get certified in Adobe stuff. Maybe I should look into that. I don't know.
You should. About 14 times when I was creating gangs that I thought, man, if only somebody else knew how to do this and I wasn't having to learn it on the fly. See, I could have just said like, "Hey, Bobby, I'll give you $5 if you could do this."
There you go. So here's the website. Yeah, there you go. Go to shadowcasters.network and you can see it there. Links to the Patreon and Discord and everything. We've already got a couple of patrons already. I'm in like streamathon mode. Remember when it's always like, hey, we've gotten some
Yeah.
But no, it's thank you guys for becoming patrons. So
Yeah, thank you.
Palmer says that you can get certified. It's an ACE cert.
That's awesome.
I don't know what that means. I'm sure
Adobe
that
certification of excellence.
it's Adobe certification.
Enema.
Ooh. So there's a good question. If you get
We will shove this stuff up your butt, and you will know it.
if you
So you
could
can
get
feel it.
certified for all the Adobe stuff, if you could learn it all, but you had to get an anal probe for it to happen, would you do
Oh
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I think that's a no-brainer.
Like that's my Saturday nights, whatever.
Heyo.
Yeah.
Certain things that don't make sense. Like when people say like, "Hey, I'll give you $1 million, and all you'd have to do is stay in this haunted house for like a week." I'd be like, bitch, what? Why wouldn't I do that? like, are you so afraid of imaginary things that you don't need $1 million when it's all done? What could a ghost do to you that $1 million won't fix? Yeah.
That's what they told House on Haunted Hill, and look how that turned out.
No, they did not give them $1 million.
Well, because they didn't survive,
Yeah.
so no, they
Okay.
didn't get it.
I told my family, and they seem cool. They're like, "There's not much that I won't do for $1 million, right?" I mean, like, we all live in this weird capitalist society where like our worth is based on like what we can produce, man. Like $1 million would give me a lot of leeway to be myself after that. So I would do a lot of weird stuff for $1 million.
Everyone has a price.
I do
Mine
weird
is
stuff.
Really low.
I've done weird stuff just for the streamathon every summer. I think.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about like immoral stuff, right? I'm just talking about like self-deprecating stuff. Like I would embarrass myself, and I would do all sorts of weird stuff for $1 million.
Mhm.
Again, there's not a lot I wouldn't do as
Yeah.
long as it was like just about me.
Okay.
So yes, the answer to your question is yes. If I could have automatic Adobe knowledge downloaded,
Inserted into your butt. Okay.
but like, I would absolutely do that. Absolutely.
Uh,
Without even
Shadowcast Network, inspiring players to play with their butts.
yeah, there we go. It's on theme for the night.
If I had mastered just one of those Creative Cloud apps, like that would be
Fair.
a no-brainer still.
Fair. Okay, so that's where we are now. That's what we're doing now. Let's talk about the future. We sort of have one thing we haven't talked about, which is sort of like now and the future, is what some people may be wondering about, because we've talked around actual plays and tabletop RPGs, which is something we've done for a really, really long time, but we haven't actually mentioned what, if anything, we're going to be doing in that realm. And I'm sure a lot of you, quite a number of you are wanting to know what we're going to do, because that's what you came, that's what you like to come here for, is to see us play RPGs. Well, we do have plans for that, and some of it you might have to wait for, or you will have to wait for, but some of it you won't. We have been, if you've noticed, doing a show on the network. I should say, Oz and Cliff here have been doing it. The Apocalypse World show that we've been doing on YouTube already, and what that's been doing, the way they've been doing that, and is for charity, right? You guys have been taking donations from super chats and stuff like that on
Palmer.
YouTube. From mostly Palmer, but from anybody who wants to, and we absolutely love you, Palmer. But that's going to all go to a charity that they've already decided about. And Cliff felt really, really strongly about this, and he's going to be in charge of this. So I'll let him tell you. He hasn't done a lot of talking tonight anyway. I'll let you tell people what it is that you want to do with sort of the more agile, like indie style on the side actual plays that we can be doing that are not going to be our big marquee show actual plays.
Yeah, so I guess a big part of this just stems from the fact that I want to play and feature more games and more different games. And so this is a way for me to get to do that. But I love doing actual plays, both for podcasts and for streams. And we want to do actual plays on the Shadowcasters Network, but also still hold to our values, which is to be paying people for what they're worth if we're making money on something. And well, quite frankly, we don't make any money to speak of on the actual play streams. Even the more successful ones, we split it all up and maybe somebody walks away with $2 to $5 at the most. So I thought it would make more sense, instead of paying people this small amount, see if we could try to raise more money, but also more money not just for us to make the money, but instead for that to be raised for some sort of a good or important cause that aligns with our values. And that was a really long and wordy way to say that, hey, if we can't pay our people involved in it, let's all do volunteer stuff and use it to raise money for charity. And that seems a cooler, more ethical way than just getting everyone together and then just splitting up like $2 or $3 for everyone putting together tens of hours of work. Granted, it's fun work, but still, you're creating something of value together that you're putting out there. Yeah, it's a good way for us to potentially draw some money up for some charity that we want to support. For Apocalypse World, it has been essentially a collection of charities to support. Let's see, Oz, you had the blurb written down for it. Maybe I'll put you on the spot and let you find that here so I don't mangle it. But essentially, it's all related to helping people in relation to the racial justice issues that the U.S. has been having lately.
So it's Act Blue. It's over 70 different racial justice organizers, bail funds, etc.
And to be clear, it's not on the blue side of things. Yeah. It's on the black side of things, which everyone should be on that issue.
Yeah, and
so with that, sorry, go ahead.
No, continue. I don't want to cut you off.
I was going to bring the folks back towards the role-playing game side of things. So what we're going to do for those is until we can hit that goal of $500 a month, I think, on Patreon, we're going to have like a regular actual play. We're not just going to not do actual plays on the Shadowcasters Network. Instead, we're going to do this sort of charity model of doing short-term RPG streams. If some of them are really popular and we love them, we might bring them back for further seasons, or we might just explore different RPGs as we go. So to that end, we'll be doing more shows as time goes on. I've already got another one I'm planning that I don't think even I've told Oz and Bobby and Opti about. So
which is fine, because that's the point of these charity streams is to pull back the curtain like we've been doing this whole time. The big shows that we're going to be doing. So at the $500 milestone, once we're fortunate enough to get to that point of patronage, $500 a month, we're going to start doing a weekly, what we're calling like a marquee actual play show, which is like a big show that we're going to do every week. It'll run for like 2 or 3 months. And then after those 2 or 3 months, we'll do another one, and there'll be big shows, high production value. We'll have really great high quality streamers and hopefully get the games companies involved, all sorts of stuff that they're going to be big productions, as big as we can get it. And so the question was, where's that going to leave the rest of the fun stuff that we want to do? Like, to do that, we have to be able to sort of plan it behind the scenes and get like what's this going to cost, do some production work, like we have to have a producer behind the scene figuring things out. And so I think Cliff specifically said, well, what if I just want to do a show? Like, what if I'm just excited about apocalypse world or kids on bikes, and I just want to do something real, like, because I'm excited about it. And so we talked about it and came up with this solution. And so that's the whole point. Like you don't have to talk to us about it because that's the whole like spirit of that. And we can also help people along the way by donating all of the stuff we get through the actual stream to charity. So it's a cool way to make a positive change in the world. So excited about that.
And to tack on to that, one of the other challenges we had when we were coming up with this model, or one of the roadblocks, was, if we have one marquee show, then we only have like 2 or 3 cast members outside of ourselves that are in our circle. So then we lose out on the many friends and fellow streamers that we've brought on to play games with us that along the way that we would love to keep playing with. So being able to do these shows, which are more like 1-shot, 2-shot, 3-shots kind of games, allows us to keep people in a cycle and still get a chance to get the exposure and the fun times that we want to have with them.
Yeah, there's so many people that I want to play games with. And so many games that I want to play.
Yeah, we've been talking about a Misspent Youth sequel for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So many people loved that show. That'd be really cool.
That was such a great show. I'm so excited that like Fragging Unicorns owns Misspent Youth now. I mean, I'm not excited that Robert Bull felt that he was done developing RPGs. That's sad, but it's also people's lives change and careers change, and so.
Like,
but also
whatever wants to do. But I'm super excited it came.
Yeah. Let's be honest. Fragged Unicorns owning Misfit Youth is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
like yes, like we can appreciate and Robert's fine. It's not like he, he's not like dead and he's not like awful. Well, doing poorly. He just didn't want to do it anymore. And he's like, hey, have this cool thing that you love. And we were like, yes. Yes, please. So now we get to do really cool stuff, and it's like, it's just awesome.
Yeah. So if you want to see these big marquee actual play shows that are going to have lots of really great talent, I know we've got plenty of people that we've got pegged for being on those shows with us. Plenty more new people we'd love to reach out to, and plenty more stuff that we want to do for these big, well-produced, well-written, improv, well-acted shows. Then we just have to get to that $500 a month patronage, and this is something we're really excited about. Is really what it boils
down to. And we're
not
going to jump the gun and do it before we get there.
Yeah,
like we're gonna moderate ourselves. Just make sure that everything that we're doing is sustainable, right? That this is not going to burn us out, after a month or two of doing it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Let's talk about other things that we might want to do in the future. And again, these are all going to be sort of like built into these milestones that we might reach so that we can figure out what's it going to take for us to be able to do this and then set a milestone. Another big show that everybody liked a lot was Once Upon a Tabletop. I love that show, and I loved doing it so much that I have really big plans for how it could look in the future. And I really want to do that again. And that's one of those things that we plan to bring back once we're able to. For those of you who might not know, Once Upon a Tabletop was a show that we did where we played tabletop board games using Tabletop Simulator on stream. I was on it. The regulars were me, Cliff, and Oz. But we had other people come on all the time. Some people that are in the chat now. I know Opti was on there at least once, maybe for the Streamathon once. I think you played Clue with us. You played Clue.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Oh, I was Colonel Mustard.
Yeah, right. That was fun. So what we always do with Once Upon a Tabletop is pick some sort of thematic game that has either a built-in storytelling component to it, or some sort of strong like role play motivation to it, because the whole idea of that show was honestly what it was me and Oz decided we were talking one day and decided that the way we play board games with our at-home groups is we just really get into it and kind of role play whatever the little meeple is that we're playing on the board. We just really get into board games. We thought, wouldn't that be fun to do on a show? So that's what we do. We get other people on that want to do it.
Bobby said essentially, I want to cosplay, but I only want to dip my foot in it.
Right.
So what if I did it on stream playing board games?
Right. So we pick a board game that has and we just really get into whatever the character is. The very first one we ever did was Mansions of Madness. So you can imagine, like, we took those characters and we just embodied them and went with it. We did an early one. Another early one we did was what's the zombie one? I can't remember the name of, Cliff.
Dead of Winter.
Dead of Winter?
Dead of Winter. So that one was really, really fun.
Oh, yes, I was the dog, and tragic things happened. It was Oz's fault, but I took the blame because
That's right. Oz was the mayor of our little compound, and he
No, I wasn't the mayor, but I on purpose made sure to manipulate in such a way where you would take the fall, Cliff, for a whole bunch of awful things. It was great.
Yeah, good fun.
Did you play Betrayal on House on the Hill or something like that?
I have heard of it plenty, but I've never actually played it. No.
Oz ran that for us. I don't remember what it was for. Just fucking around, I think. Right, a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
That would be a good one.
That's always been on my list to do. And I know Trav, who's in chat and joined the Anarchy, he's always been like, I want to be on that show when you do it. So yeah, absolutely.
So my new idea for Once Upon a Tabletop, though, is that we would take one of the challenges with Once Upon a Tabletop was that we tried to play through one game per episode. Like we never wanted the game to go over the course of multiple episodes. We wanted to have new people coming in all the time and stuff like that. And that became really, really difficult. And towards the end, we just kind of gave up on that idea when we were playing time stories and just let the game span out over multiple sessions. And that's when I got the idea, what if we just did that? What if we just picked a game that had really strong things and we sort of crafted an entire story out of it? Maybe we got the game companies involved. We added.
There's some legacy games that would be really fun for a long form.
Yes, and I really want to get some legacy games in there because those were games we were always excited to thinking about for Once Upon a Tabletop. But in the way that we had crafted the idea for the show, it couldn't work. So
let me in on those legacy games, dude. I love those legacy games. So, and I've never been able to finish one.
that show would be seasonal. It would be highly produced, very highly produced. I have the idea to maybe even have components in where we teach how the game is played and make little side videos for that, play them on the stream, all sorts of stuff. It would be this whole big to do. And,
RNG Froyo, thank you. Holy crap.
What happened?
I'm gonna give a shout out. He is a village hero.
What? Oh, so
Yes.
First village hero.
What?
Is that true?
That's +3 in a stupid game.
+2.
Nice.
Come on.
No, it's +3.
Ancient artifact. Come on, get with it.
Oh, village hero. Shit. Sorry, I thought it was a regional celebrity. My bad. Still,
Village hero is still a
freaking
big
great.
deal.
It's still awesome.
Your name goes in the credits now. When we don't have credits for this thing, but we will have credits, and your name will
That
be.
+2
in
in the stupid game is the best thing that you ever did in your life.
Yeah,
You'll love
you
it.
don't even know it yet, but it's gonna be great. And stupid.
Hey, Alex is here. Hey, Alex.
Alex.
Shouting out Risk Legacy. Well, his name isn't Alex on the YouTube chat. That's
I
just
see it. Maximilian
Risk
Rockefeller.
Legacy is my favorite board game of all time.
I've never played it.
I love it.
I'm assuming it's much better than Risk.
I like the original
normal
Risk, but that was back when I played uncivilized board games, and I didn't know any better.
I think
really
Original Risk is probably one of the better games of the crappy board games before people knew how to make board games.
But Risk Legacy is actually really, really fun.
Whereas Monopoly is just garbage, right? Just total garbage.
Well, I think Monopoly, the whole point of Monopoly is different than what it became. But yeah, the whole point of Monopoly is to piss people off because that's what real life is like, and you're supposed to resent it. not like
like legit. That's what the guy who designed it legit was. That's what he. It was a.
Right.
It was a.
That's what I'm saying. He's
story
like,
I
I'm gonna make a game that sucks so bad because once you get a little money, you automatically start winning with the opponents having no opportunity to get back in the game. Like, when that game sucks, and he's like, yes, I know. That's capitalism, fuckers.
But also, like,
That's the whole point.
During the Great Depression, I remember it was during that time, and it was also to make it to be like an escapist fantasy of being the one person that was able to hoard all of the money. So.
Right? But like Shadowrun and the rest of Cyberpunk, it was like, nah, let's not take it for what it was meant to be. Let's try to make it happen instead. Yeah.
What other things are we excited about? What do I have on the list? I have an idea for a morning show that I've had in the back of my mind for a long time, and I really want to do it. And that would be sort of like a daily or almost daily show that I would do in the mornings. And I don't know what I would call it. Maybe like the morning coffee or something like that. And who knows what it would be.
Coffee in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. And so that could be another level. I've had a recent idea for this would be like a behind the scenes thing. I have a pet project that I want to work on. That's a programming project that has to do with coming up with like a simulation engine that would be able to run simulations for like games rule sets. It's hard for me to explain. So let me
I just want to jump in before we get any farther and say that Daryl's corrected us that the Landlord's game was originally designed by a woman named Elizabeth Maggie, who I probably mispronounced her name. And another fun fact that I want to share that he shared with us is in the chat is that it had two play modes. One was capitalism, which is what we think of as Monopoly today. The other was socialism, where it became a co-op game to try to improve the neighborhood together. I have never heard of that.
Right. Like, I want to find the rules for that, and then make it a board game. Fragging Unicorn's new board game, Socialism.
So is the Landlord's game what Monopoly became? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, and Jeff Green saying there is a socialism version of Monopoly now, but it's deliberately designed to fail.
No, we don't want that one. We want right. Elizabeth's original socialism game.
Right, yeah. That sounds cool.
Right.
So thanks for that correction and the additional intel, Daryl.
Yes, thank you. So I think the idea I came up with this programming project was a long time ago. I thought, what if I could take like, I was way into Shadowrun, of course. Many of you know that. So I thought, what if I could take my character and run a simulation of it against another character, and to test where to put certain like karma points, like character advancement points, to see what would be the most optimal outcome. And then over the years, that idea has evolved into, what if I could write a program that would just, generally speaking, be a simulation engine for tabletop RPG rule systems, to test them. And I was thinking about working on that, and it was something that I thought that would be fun for patrons in the patron chat and everything to help me figure out, because there's a lot of like design things that anybody could help with, like understanding how rule systems work, which, let's face it, gaming tabletop nerds on the internet love flexing about how much they know about how rule systems work, right? So be a great thing to do. What other ideas do you guys have that we would love to be able to do on the network that we can't right now and we need to get there?
Mm-hmm. I would love to be able to do so I have as a result of doing stuff like intros for the shows, as well as the Kickstarter video for Gangs of the Undercity, which looks badass, I've become much better in After Effects. So one of the things I would like to do is make more video style content, just like quick, this is how you play X game in a quick, digestible way. Sounds like I'm pitching complex action actually, but like I just want to do like the one.
Hey,
thing.
I don't do complex action anymore, so go for it. Pitch away.
Yeah. But yeah, just to like be able to give that same attention that we gave Shadowrun to a bunch of other games that deserve it as well. So
yeah, and that would be. Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to follow up on what I said. I didn't mean to interrupt, but that would be something that like more like we as a collective could all get together and kind of work on together with our various skills, and I think that's what the point of that would be. So that would be a cool thing to do. What were you saying, Cliff?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say what I was saying kind of touches on what I want to do going forward, which is feature more games, try out more games, play more games, try out different game designs, and play with more people, and get the chance to play more with the people that I want to play with. But yeah, that's really what it's all about for me. Is playing more in different games with my friends. But one of the more specific things that I want to do is get some sort of the Gangs of the Undercity video battle report stuff going, whether it's just me playing the game at home with one of my kids, or someone else locally, or whether we get some tabletop simulator stuff going and different people on. I would love to see just like lots and lots of Gangs of the Undercity, actual like gang fights happening on video, and for people to enjoy, either to learn the game and strategies like I used to dig up battle reports for Warhammer 40k to do and work on, or to just enjoy the show.
Yeah, and there's something I was thinking about, like we're always thinking about what would some of this Patreon content be that we give out and everything, and like doing tests of different types of shows that we could do is something that we could like just play around with and let people see behind the scenes, and if you have an ancient artifact that can help you scry into those things. But
when it comes to some patron only content, I'm gonna just drop something in here that's not implemented. We'll figure it out after the show somehow. Bobby laughs because Chuckles there. That's the oh crap! I'm gonna have to implement this thing.
That's the nervous laughter.
It's an easy thing, Opti, I promise. I created some original music as part of our Apocalypse World show. That's just a rock and instrumental piece. It's inspired by Oz's character and our crazy shenanigans. And as Prism Shard, I tend to release my music just out to the public, Creative Commons, via my SoundCloud. And I will do that eventually, but for now, this track in its entirety will only be found as a patron reward for patrons of the Shadowcasters Network.
Yes, absolutely. That's easy
do you have
to do.
The file already, Bobby? Or I'll toss you one.
I do not have the file currently, but we'll make that we'll put that to encourage people to be at the warrior level. We'll make that as part of like that level. So if you become at least a warrior, sorry, Flemmy, on the patreon.com/shadowcasters, then we'll do that. Normally, I think that kind of thing would be a rogue level thing, but I think to encourage people to get on there, we can make it at the warrior level. So.
All right. So yeah, if you want to be able to download that before the rest of the world can. So far, it's only been heard by a few of my friends and like playing in the background while we play Apocalypse World.
Yeah. I feel like there was. Oh, so you were talking. Cliff was talking about games, like wanting to be able to play more games and everything. And so I was telling you, once we get to the actual play level, we'd be doing like a weekly marquee actual play stream. Don't think that we only want to do one per week. If we can get there's no set amount for this yet, but we have aspirations to be able to concurrently be running like more than one actual play marquee show at a time on the network. So that's just the kinds of things that we want to look forward to. We want to get back, like if we're being honest, we want to get back to where we were. We just want to be able to do it in a way where we all don't want to curl up in a ball every night and cry ourselves to sleep and never get back on the streams again because this is so much work. So. But
not that ever happened.
no, not that any of us ever almost quit and had a panic attack, and definitely never happened.
But also, yes, we just want to also support the people that are on the journey with us for these shows as well, and in a way that's not just, hey, you're on the show. It's no, here you are paying you for your time for like all of the awesome that you are bringing. So
we have some people asking, is Shadowrun on the roadmap for future content? Maybe ? Shadowrun, we've done so much. Now, okay, let me back up. Individually, some of us are definitely still doing Shadowrun as part of their own thing. Cliff is still doing the Arcology podcast. Opti, I think I've seen on my feed you're still doing Neo-Anarchist podcast, right?
Neo-Anarchist podcast, Shadowrun Origins.
Yeah.
I'm still writing for some Shadowrun stuff. So yeah, we're still involved.
So individuals of us are still doing Shadowrun.
Oz is writing some Shadowrun Anarchy shit too with me.
Yeah.
BC Dub. It was Cliff.
So
yeah.
Again, Bobby is left out.
I just don't do anything. I just don't like to do things. But the network has sort of been exploring other things to do. Other things that we can get excited about is what it is. Now, that's not to say that we're not ever going to do Shadowrun stuff again, but if we do that, it'll be just when it makes sense for us to want to do it. There's so many other games out there that we're really excited about.
Yeah, here's my thing. I really love Shadowrun, but I also really love other games too.
Right. So right
and
now,
I get so much Shadowrun in other aspects of my work.
Exactly. So if you're excited about Shadowrun, I would definitely still keep tabs on it. Or if you don't, check out the Arcology podcast, and the Neo-Anarchist podcast, and
Shadowrun Origins.
Shadowrun Origins. Those are all things that are being worked on as other projects. But as far as the network goes, right now we're just looking at other things. Like that's what we're excited about doing right now.
And also, side note, because this was also a question in chat, join the Anarchy. I do have plans to return it, and like we said, and like we've been talking about, I think that would probably be one of our marquee shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna run it for, like, the plan is to keep consistent with everything that we want to do. It would be a 3-month run, weekly, if we can get that done. I mean, that's all. It's all under discussion. It's not off the table. I love Join the Anarchy. I love running it. I love Shadowrun Anarchy. I plan on doing it. But there are plenty of other games that we want to look into as well. So, and we have the opportunity to do them. It's really fun.
So I know a lot of what you just heard me and Oz say sounds like us trying to weasel out of Shadowrun, and I know a lot of you. Shadowrun's very much a part of our DNA, so it's not something we're forgetting about. Let me just put that there. Like when it feels right, we will be back to it.
In the meantime, yes, several or at least half of us will be making Shadowrun content in other forms.
Yeah. What would you call the morning show that I would do? I want to hear questions from the chat too. Like this is most of our agenda we've gotten through. So we're.
Mr. Trav says, "WTF is Join the Anarchy."
Yeah, who knows?
There
was a show that Oz did with some two really great female cast members and some kid. It's like some 5-year-old boy that used to play with them as well. I don't. His name was something.
Something other, yeah.
Yeah. Questions. We'll answer any questions that you have while we're just shooting the shit at this point. I want to hear what your ideas are for a morning show that I would do, like a title for that show.
While that's happening, I did have a question for you. What is the state of Shadowrun missions, since Shadowrun's being brought into the conversation?
Oh, good one. Well, it's still going strong, but there've been some fun new details with the website redesign.
Yeah, it's
I
still
should probably
going.
let Bobby answer that part.
It's still going very strong. Shadowrun Missions. So if you don't know what Shadowrun Missions is, let me tell you. The Shadowrun Missions is sort of the
Online.
living. Shadowrun Missions is the living campaign that Catalyst Game Labs does for Shadowrun. It goes through seasons, and you can play and earn credit for your characters and all play together in this shared world and presumably impact the story and lore and the way the game plays out. Shadowrun Missions Online is a venue that we created to sort of be like, most people interacted with Shadowrun Missions at conventions like Origins Game Fair or Gen Con, and we had the idea to make a venue that was either on par or a little bit cheaper to play, and it sort of be like one of these games conventions all year, where you could play with other people in Shadowrun Missions games that were being run by certified Shadow or Catalyst demo team agents, and actually get real credit for your games that counted, and you could carry those characters on from conventions to your online games, back to conventions, stuff like that. So that was the idea of Shadowrun Missions Online, and it's still going strong. We've been doing it's being run by the incomparable Matt Lemon, Raven 20-something 46 on Discord.
2049. It's 2049.
2049. Sorry. He runs that for us, and he does an incredible job. And they have their own Discord server and everything. I'll find a link to it, or if somebody else wants to find a link to it actively
I put one in there already.
Okay, great. So there's
srmissionsonline.com.
Yeah. And so the website is srmissionsonline.com. They got a brand new website. I just helped them with that, and they're going strong. And so if you want to play missions games, there you go. It's you sign up and pay for a ticket to get into a game that is run by people. One of the great things about that I love is that it's, you're paying for it, but it's not as expensive as sort of a like what you would do at a convention, but you're also playing with like other people who love playing Shadowrun, and people who love running Shadowrun and are good at running Shadowrun. And there's all these online Roll20 setups that we've created to make it so much easier, and all sorts of cool stuff. So you should check it out if you're into Shadowrun and want to play online. So srmissionsonline.com.
So Don asks, okay, question for the far future, hopefully not too far, Origins or Gen Con. My answer to that in the chat was both, I hope, but if it's one or the other, probably Gen Con. And I just want to qualify that answer. If it's just me picking whichever con I would rather go to, just for the sake of going to the con and enjoying myself, it would be Origins. But if I have to pick one or the other in the real world, where I have to pick one or the other to make that decision, it's always going to be Gen Con, because we're podcasters and streamers and tabletop people and that's the bigger one to show up to, I guess.
Yeah.
Opti and Dragon Unicorns will be at both.
Oh, nice.
Next year.
Yep. Assuming
this is all assuming
that
COVID has somehow run its course, and we are in a different place than we are today.
Yeah, Gen Con 2077, Nick Morgan says. Assuming we have a Gen Con next year, I will absolutely be there. Me and my, hopefully my wife will be there with me for the first time. That was going to be this year.
Yeah.
But then, can I get an F in chat for Gen Con?
Yeah. Okay.
Question. Soulstorm in our Discord. So on our Discord, we have a special channel for questions for the show.
Hey, let's use it.
Specifically for you, Bobby. I love your complex action videos. They really helped explain some of the more obscure rules for me. Any chance of more of these in your future, or even these kinds of videos for other games, not just Shadowrun?
Okay. So my answer to questions, first of all, thank you very, very much. That every time someone says that the videos that I make help them get into Shadowrun and help them play it, it legitimately validates everything I've done for the past several years on there. Like I love hearing it, because that was the whole point. But I used to give sort of a Weasley answer to this and say like, well, you never know. I might do something about it in the future. You never know. But recently I've tried to be more honest with myself, and because I think I was just lying to myself, saying like I'm gonna keep trying, because I did and do legitimately love doing that stuff. But for whatever reasons that I don't know that I fully understand, it's been really, really hard for me to do that stuff lately. So I don't know that I have actual plans to do Shadowrun complex action stuff in the future, but I've always wanted to take the complex action model and apply it to other games. So that's something that I would like to do one day. I have been this is not a promise at all, but I have been trying to, speaking of Damien Zidlow and Cybernautica, I have been trying to nudge him and say, hey, I could do something for that game. So that might...
Say, Luminacita says in the chat that those are amazing vids, and I agree. I just have to take a moment. We just all take a moment to just all recognize just how much of an amazing artist with stick figures Bobby is. And I don't mean that in any sort of offhanded way. That is purely genuine praise, because he is just so good at expressing so much with so little, and that is an incredible skill,
as evidenced by the Patreon stick figures.
Yes.
All the different
Thanks,
levels.
guys.
Yeah.
I just remembered. Trav says, "What WTF is Cybernautica?"
Yeah.
You asked the question, "What might we want to see down the road?"
Mm-hmm.
And we had been talking for a while about doing a YouTube version of the Neo Anarchist podcast.
Yeah.
Bobby and I had been talking
With
about
sock puppets. Don't
probably
forget
not
the
sock puppets, but like just a well-produced sort of like Ken Burns style, version.
with sock puppets.
That's something that, like, I think when Bobby and I are able to breathe and give it time, that would be a really fun project.
Yes, because that's something that comes up over and over again, that specific project, and every time I get excited about it, and then I have to like slap myself on the wrist and be like, no, you can't, that would be so much work.
It would be. I think most of the work would be like on the front end, but still it would be harder than any other thing that we would do. Again,
that's the whole, and this is what you were hinting at, I think, Opti. That's the whole point of the way we've decided to restructure things with the Patreon and the network, is that if we have a project that we're excited about and other people are excited about, then we can do the work behind the scenes and say, okay, how much is this going to cost? What would it require? What type of people would we need to get involved in order to make this actually something that could possibly be done? People who would write the episodes, people who would storyboard them, who would edit them, do the After Effects like Oz was talking about. Who would do all these things? How much would that cost? And then now we've got a number that we can plug in.
We need to make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. So these types of, so maybe I should go back and say like I shouldn't say that Shadowrun is not, if that's something that everybody gets excited about again, and we can figure out the numbers, then that's something that's more sustainable to do. That's one of the hard parts about doing complex action before that I had to pull back from, is that there was so much other stuff going on. Something has to give. Just from logistically and emotionally and everything, and that's the whole point of what we're trying to do now. So
I mean, like I've got the scripts for everything, right? Like, I mean, I got the general script outlines and what but like it would be the production and the getting guest stars to come and like read things. It would be a huge undertaking, and we're all just very busy with other things at the moment. It was not the right time.
Right.
And we could throw it away. We could we could probably make something that would be good enough, right? I mean, like, it would be sort of trash comparatively, but like, just but I don't want to do that. I don't want to.
Exactly. That's never been something that we wanted to do. So like Don Allman in chat says, Ken Burns Shadowrun history would be amazing. Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing we would love to do. Get people. I had the idea, like I got excited about it for a week, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get like a camera. I'm gonna get sound equipment. When we go to Gen Con, there's all these like Shadowrun writers and luminaries there. I'm gonna put them in a room with a bookshelf in it, and then and I'm gonna get them to sit in a leather chair, and I'm gonna put a camera on them and get them to talk about it as if they're like professors of Shadowrun history, and I'm gonna put it together. Like, we have like cool ideas. We just have to. It has to be something we can do and not go crazy doing it. So, and you guys are gonna help us do that. I know it.
Don Allman asks, I'm all down for this, but I'm a bit confused. What is the primary thing that we're selling on this channel?
Right now we're doing tabletop gaming. That's kind of the general
If they were
thing.
doing it, what do you mean?
That's what we're about. So if you want to talk about like deliverables,
First of all, we're not really selling anything. We're just asking you to give us money.
Right. So that's a really
that's clear transparency.
That's a really good.
But our content right now is going to be the weekly show.
Yeah, a weekly show about tabletop. We're going to do some weekly news, and we're just going to get excited to get together talking about tabletop gaming every week.
I think a lot of the talk about it focused on the news side of it, which is only a part of what these shows are going to be. We'll also be discussing things like game design ideas and game master tips and tips for playing games and just all sorts of different ideas or topics about games. If it sounds vague in general, it's because it is, because we want to talk about whatever we want to talk about from one week to another. But I intend to have a regular panel on it that's just about encouraging people to game master and giving them tips and techniques to do it.
Or
to help
industry analysis or controversy.
Yeah, or getting someone on to talk about some specific game mechanics elements, like what dice mechanics work better for different probability curves. Nerdy stuff like that too.
Right.
Interviews with cool tabletop gaming people that we love. Yeah.
Yep. And so that's why I don't remember who said it, but it was described as a talk show, and then somebody said that was a really good description of it. We just want to do a weekly talk show about tabletop gaming. That's our baseline. That's where we want to start. And then the next thing we want to do after that, once we get there, is a weekly actual play, where we're actually doing a well-produced, highly produced actual play show. So that's what you get. And if you like it, so go ahead, Oz. What was it?
That in the meantime, we'll also be doing the charity actual play.
Yep, exactly. So there will be actual play stuff going on, and there already is on the YouTube channel. So
speaking of which, you can catch up on the Apocalypse World stream that has been going on. If this is the first you've heard about it, on this very YouTube channel, there are 6 or is it 7 now episodes posted, and you should binge those because the last one's going to be this upcoming Tuesday. We've been doing back-to-back weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And, thanks to Maddie, says that I've been an inspiration for them to start game mastering Earth Dawn. So haven't really talked about it much, but I also did the Legends of Earth Dawn actual play podcast, which is a Earth Dawn actual play with Opti here and some other awesome people.
I think Cliff at one point said something that made me think about this, which is an important thing that I want to make sure that people understand, which is that all of this stuff that we're doing, we're talking about Patreon a lot, yeah, but all this content that we're talking about doing will be free to get on the YouTube channel. We're not trying to paywall all this stuff. That's not the point. We're making content for you guys to get for free, and if you really like it and you want us to do more stuff, then feel free to support us on Patreon. That's the whole point.
Yeah. If you love the content, the heartwarming, intelligent, analytical tabletop gaming news that we give to you every week, consider supporting us. Perhaps at the friend level No, wait. What's the level?
Touch your butt level, I think is the one.
Yes. I hope you are inspired to play with your butt.
Level.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I can't wait until Bobby hears that. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't wait until Damien hears that, and then
Yeah.
Yeah, I
before
mean,
Bobby.
Support us at the Gamers Club.
I mean, yeah, this is important. I mean, we're not, by doing it this way, and I know that we've touched on this, but before on Twitch it was make as much content as possible to try and eventually have the money catch up to it, right? And that now just never happened. And this way it's a different way, where it's like we make content based on what the money allows us for, where we can
Right.
still spend time with our families and not like overdo something. Like if we're getting paid for it, then it suddenly is like we can tell our families, hey, I have commitments to make to our fans, sorry.
Right.
So RNG, will there be a season 2 of Rural Punk? Oh, I really hope so. But that said, the designer of Rural Punk, Cascade, stepped back from game design and shut down all of their web presence and itch.io site and everything. I got super worried and checked in with them to make sure everything was okay, and I got a email back from her that it's just been well, she works in the healthcare, and stuff's happened this year, and she just hasn't really felt she hasn't really wanted to be involved in the tabletop side of things lately. So
Yeah.
I really hope that she'll feel comfortable to return. I still have some of the Rural Punk rules, so I'm not sure. I might ask her for permission to play those, even if she decides not to come back to it. But in the email she sent, there was the possibility that she might be interested in doing something with us in the future if things work out. So that was a really long answer to say maybe. I hope so, but it's kind of stalled for other reasons. And I wish Cascade the best, and I hope things are going well for her. And I really hope she gets back to game design, because I've said before, and I will say again, that she's been my favorite game designer. I love the stuff that she's designed with Karma in the Dark and Rural Punk and a number of other game designs that I've read of hers but haven't actually gotten around to playing yet. Just really, really great game designer.
As far as Twitch goes, we talked a little bit about how we're moving to YouTube, but I think right now the agreement we have about Twitch is that it would be a good place to do video, like casual video game streaming that we want to do. So I know I plan to. For example, did you guys hear about this game Rogue Squadron? Not Rogue Squadron, that was an old game. Star Wars Squadron. That's coming out. I'm very excited to play that, and I would love to play it on stream.
Playing the old X-Wing and TIE Fighter games, and
yeah.
seems like a very worthy successor to that.
Yeah, and so I'm.
And if we wanted to get on and be like a squad or something like that, dude, that would be worth
yes.
Tell me, what's your, hold on, everybody here, what's your preferred rebel fighter? I'll go first. A-Wing.
I prefer the X-Wings myself.
Well, since you already took the A-Wing, I'll just.
Hey, you can take A-Wing too if you want.
I like
you can have
it.
the same thing.
I like an
Maybe we
A-Wing.
could-
I like dogfighting, so A-Wings are really, really good for that. So
Whatever Hera flies in Star Wars Rebels, I like that.
It was a ghost called the Ghost.
Ghost, yeah. Whatever the Ghost was, I like that one.
Yeah, so like I would definitely play that game with you, Bobby. Like
let's do
have
it.
like a weekly like let's do this, right? Or
Yeah,
something
man,
like
because there's gonna be like team battles, right? So that's what we're
that.
gonna do.
I'm not playing Cyberpunk 2077 or Fortnite. I guess that's
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of really good games coming out this year.
long live the Empire. You son of a bitch. But yeah, I think we could even just like, I wonder if there's like a a filter you could get where like it would have us all having rebel helmets on.
I'm
So it would
very
look like-
strongly. Do you know about the Black Series helmets? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's
Oh, props. You mean?
So I think Hasbro makes them, or at least sells them. They call them the Black Series, and
My head traditionally does not fit inside helmets made for everyone.
I have a giant head too, and that's the reason why I actually haven't already gotten it, because I'm afraid that it will be a waste of $100.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
But
You know what? We could do 3D printer ones though. I bet those are out there.
yeah, and you and I both have 3D printers, don't we?
No, I do not have a 3D.
I thought you
but
did.
I-
Oh, you were using one like a community one, right?
You have a 3D printer?
Yeah, I have a 3D
Bobby?
printer.
What?
yeah.
Why do you have all these gizmos?
I do have a lot of
3D printer.
gadgets.
What are you, an asshole? Don't have a 3D printer?
Which one did you get?
I can't remember what it's called right now. I had to assemble it myself and all this kind of stuff, but it's not
Right,
like
definitely not the model I want then.
it's not one of the like big, like it's not one of the popular brands. I don't say that dismissively. Like they're really good, like the Ultimaker and stuff like that. Those are good, but I didn't get one of those.
I'm gonna get a 3D printer eventually, but I think I might want to wait one more year, so it's just a little bit less fiddly.
The ones that are out now are super cool, like super good.
Yeah, and it
Like,
is.
I think-
There's also like resin printers, which in my
Oh my
opinion are
God,
like
yeah.
a step above, but like there's so much like cleanup, and sort of it's a little bit more involved. But like they're super affordable now.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad.
And 3D printers are definitely fiddly. You spend most of your time figuring out why it didn't print the way you wanted it to.
I have those problems with printers that just print on paper. So
Yeah, you
I've
might
been
not
trying
want to
to-
get a 3D printer then, Cliff.
It'll be a time sink, and it won't
I-
give me what I want.
I will say I have not had those problems since I've stopped purchasing HP printers and bought a Brother one. So
Mhm.
there's my official HP has pissed me off too many times. And
Brother's a good
actually-
printer company. It is.
Yeah, they are.
They are
I
good
have a
printers.
sewing machine that I bought of theirs for my kid, and it's great. And yeah, the printer that I bought, it prints when I tell it to print something. That is just such a novel experience. You
That's a
tell
big.
it to print,
That's a big deal.
and when you walk over to the printer, there's paper there with the shit on it that you wanted printed. Just blows my mind. Blows my mind.
By the way,
They're
21st
accepting
century.
sponsorships. So, brother.
Yeah.
Not
I
from HP
found-
though, because you suck.
I found the original rules for the Landlords game and the good version, right? The neutral good version called Prosperity that were in the original rules. We are going to produce that game. Dragon Unicorns is going to make that game. That's my pledge.
It
Yeah.
might not be in the public domain, so we might have to
Copyright
rewrite it.
1932.
Wow.
So it should be, right?
It's
Probably.
based on how many years it's been since the death of the person who created the original product, and she died in 48. I think I looked up, which I think is might be too close to when Walt Disney died for it to ever go into public domain. But I'm not 100% sure.
Damn it, Walt Disney.
That said,
Still.
you can't actually copyright actual game mechanics, so it could be recreated, close enough. But it would be especially neat to actually just reproduce it as close to as it might have been as well,
Yeah.
though. So if it
You
is
can
in the
also
public
just
domain,
update it so that it's not on a Monopoly board.
well,
The
it wouldn't be
original-
in the public board
original
either.
is sort of Monopoly. But you know what? I've seen knockoffs of Monopoly boards. So like it must not be something that you can copyright.
Oh,
Mm.
Daryl says it's not public domain, but again, you can't copyright rules, only patent them, which is how she lost the rights to Monopoly in the first place.
Okay.
I'm going to be so pissed off when I find out more about this story.
So we're getting to the point where we're gonna wrap up, but I wanted to say one thing. First of all, we are going to have the live show is not going to start next week, but we may have our next practice. We've been developing the show, so we may have our next practice next week. So the earliest you will see the actual live show is 2 weeks from now, unless you're a patron, because we had this idea. We've tested it just with us, but we wanted to test it with a live audience. And so we had the idea that any of our patrons who are patrons, another reason why we wanted to do this relaunch party before we did the next practice episode, anybody who's a patron, we're going to give you guys access to the live stream of the next practice show we do of the live show. So we're inviting all of you to become patrons so that you can join us for that. I imagine it's either going to be next weekend or the weekend after. We can discuss that now if you want. So if you're a patron, all patrons of all levels will be able to get access to the live show, the practice one that we do, which we'll do one of before we actually start doing the actual live show. You come, be a member of the audience, ask us questions, drop questions into the Q&A if you're at that level, stuff like that. And see how things go. Give us feedback on whether or not it sucks, and how it could be better, and stuff like that. So encourage all of you to help us out with that, or just wait till the actual live show comes out and enjoy hanging out with us then too. You guys want to do it next weekend, or when you want to do the next practice episode?
I'm totally available, so just
Yeah, next weekend's fine by me. It's not like DJing wedding receptions this year.
Wah wah. Sunday nights, by the way, when it does come out, it's going to be on Sunday nights. So it sounds like next weekend is when we're going to do our practice. So you've got a week to become a patron, so you can get the secret link to the secret practice of our live show, and then the week after that, we will do the actual one on Sunday. So those live shows are going to be on Sundays, and then throughout the week we'll put out the actual episodes. So one of the levels on the Patreon is getting full access to the live show after the fact, but if you show up to the show, you get access to the whole show as well. So that is one way you can do it on Sundays. Just be there, and you'll get to see the pre-show and the post-show. Huh?
Program your VCR.
Yeah.
I don't know why that archaic reference.
Yeah. What's a
I'll
VCR?
have programmed VCRs to watch shows that I wasn't going to be able to watch otherwise.
I missed that. Sort of.
You miss VCRs?
Yeah, I actually used to have, and I still do. I have a giant library of VHS tapes of just hours upon hours upon hours of recorded content. And I even had to I made like a little video log. Mind you, I'm like 15, 16 when I made this, but yeah, I have an entire notebook with like what each videotape has on it so that I could find whatever I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think you and I would have been really good friends if we knew each other when we were young.
I think so. I think so for sure.
That's exactly the kind of thing I used to do, and still do. All right. Anybody else got anything before we head out?
Yeah, I want to do a show sometime where we do like Artemis Bridge Simulator or something.
Oh yeah,
you've been talking about that for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, or there's like a Star Trek version of it now too. That's probably cool, but
yeah, that would be really fun. I remember VCRs. I'm not a Zoomer. Yeah.
Do you remember the games that were VCR interactive though? Are you that?
Oh my
old?
God.
Yes. Mall Madness.
Pretty sure
Where you
Daryl
put the VCR and you had like the light thing that interacted with them.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh yeah, what was that one that was just on that Netflix special?
I don't know.
Night Attack or something like that.
I had a toy that you put in a VCR or a VCR tape, and it was the spaceship. You know, like you put the character in the spaceship and you'd fly him, and it wasn't that dope. Actually, it was really lame. But like, I remember the idea of it being really exciting on Christmas. Was it Captain Power? No. Captain Power is the Nintendo thing, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Thank you guys. Hey, let's practice some of the things that we will do so we can do this thing right here. This will be when things actually start working. We'll have a screen like this where we wipe away, and then go to an end screen. You guys, this will be on the live show. We've got an end screen. I want to show you guys again the actual transition that we have, so you can hear it. Tell me if it's loud, or if it's too quiet even. That's what one of our transition things. You'll see that for different things like news and whatnot. If you are wondering, well, we do this on Discord with the video quality with the way it is. That's one thing that we would love to have on a shopping list of things that we could afford to get one day, which is a higher quality video conferencing software, so that you can see people like Opti or somebody in more than 256 colors. So stuff like that. Yeah, good. I see. Good. I'm gonna assume that means the volume for the transition.
Yep, food
Also
6.
so rad.
That's so rad.
It's food 6. Love it.
All right, that'll be it for us tonight. And like I said, next Sunday, not tomorrow, but the next week.
We need to say something important. There's a bell, right? You're supposed to click the bell.
Be a good YouTuber, Bobby.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta get into it.
All right. Getting character. Get your
Yeah,
motivation ready.
You only have 10 seconds to deliver it.
That's
because
right,
That's how
that's
long
right.
the end cards are.
That's true. Let me get to the end card thing right here. Oh geez, that's the wrong button. There we go. I knew there would be wrong button presses tonight. So yes, hold on. Where?
Wow, I totally threw you off. Sorry.
You did. What is up, YouTube? Okay, so we're gonna be out of here for tonight, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified next time we do some videos. And we'll check you out on the flip side. Do people still say that? I don't know. I'm a YouTuber. Bye.
Perfect.
What is up? Have I ever told you guys how much I hate tutorial videos on YouTube and how they spend 3 minutes at the top of a tutorial talking about? Ugh. Anyway, that's something I'd like to do one day, is a tutorial that actually doesn't suck. Unsubscribed, says Nick Morgan. Yeah, but seriously, subscribe to get notified when we go live.
Are we still on the air?
Yeah, we are.
Wasn't sure.
Yeah, so subscribe, and the bell icon actually is useful to us. And yeah.
Hey, it's ya boy.
Hey, it's ya boy.
It's ya boy Shadowcaster.
Yeah.
Can we get 500 likes? Press subscribe.
Yeah. All right, we're really gonna go now. We'll see you guys, patrons. We'll see you next Sunday for practicing our live show, and everybody else, we will see you on the Sunday after that for our first live show. And thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. This is exciting. I'm really excited to get back into this.
Yeah, and also thank you to all of the people who are now new patrons.
Yeah, so much. We actually got quite a few new patrons tonight, which I wasn't expecting. So,
should we give some shout outs to them?
Yeah, why the fudge not? How do we? I know how Patreon works.
Okay, I think I got him.
Okay.
I need to be able to see the name. There we go. Okay. Thank you to Michael Bentley, Javier Ramos, Kevin Cooper, Gamers Tavern, Nick Morgan, Don Alman. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys, and we will see you when we see you. I've already done all that bit. I'm not going to do it again. See you later. Bye.
See you, everybody.
Bye.
There's a button here. I was gonna have you're gonna see a countdown timer. We're not no, you know what? No, I've got it right here. I'm a professional streamer, guys. Bye.
And the day will rise tomorrow. I stand on my own 2 feet. We're moving in a most ancient sorrow, and just begging to be free now. So put your body into motion. Feel the sting and heat. Believe in the power of true emotion. All these past lives are still on me. Yeah. Another phenomena. 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 More pressure on it. Whoa, my love's so astronomic. Relieve the pressure on it. Whoa, my love's so astronomic. If you could measure perfection, if you could measure perfection, if you could measure perfection.
We have to stop consuming our culture. We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR. Create your own